Hey, greetings, colleagues. It's a wonderful privilege for me to be sending you this video today to address you. Let me first say congratulations on completing your Bachelor of Pharmacy. For those of you that have completed it in record time, big congratulations. And for those of you that have concluded it or completed it a year later, 6 months later, or 2 years later, or whatever the case may be, I want to salute you and take my head off for you, because I believe it's those of you that have proven resilience, that you fell and rose up again. As it is said, the strength of a man is not shown in how much he falls, but in how many punches he can take and keep walking, and how much he can fall and still rise up again. So to the entire leadership of the student leadership of the Sefako Makgatho Health Sciences Academy, particularly the School of Pharmacy, to the management, and to everyone who's going to be watching this video, I greet you. My name is Nhlanhla Mafarafara. I'm a pharmacist, I'm a speaker, and I'm a coach, and I'm an author. I am really privileged today to be sending you this material for you to benefit. I'm glad that I'm doing it as a pre-recording, because you can actually watch it over and over and over again, and you can preload it and load it in all your social medias just for you to watch it and to share it with your friends. Let me also acknowledge Boo for reaching out to me after a very brief meeting some time ago in Bulukwane. So I believe it's meetings like this that add value to all of us. He invited me to come and speak to you in your gala today. Unfortunately, I'm not able to come due to circumstances beyond our control. As you understand that amidst COVID-19, one needs to try to take precautions as much as we possibly can. So I am not able to come and be with you physically, but due to technology, we are able to share this message. Whether you watch it during the event or you're going to watch it after the dinner, it doesn't matter. What I'll be happy about is that you get to watch it and you get to give me feedback later on. So I'm going to quickly address you for the next few minutes. And the topic of my discussion is called the power of showing up. Why the power of showing up? Because a few years ago, you showed up at the gate of Sefako Makgatho Health Sciences Academy looking for an opportunity to sharpen yourself and to create a career path for yourself. And you ended up studying Bachelor of Pharmacy, whether it was an accident or it was an intentional thought when you left your house or your shack, whatever that may be, when you boarded the bus or the car or the plane to come to Haranku, and you ended up here today because you showed up. And all of this is because you had a vision. I have read somewhere that for though a vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end of the day it shall speak. It will not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And I read in the scrolls of the books of wisdom in a space called Genesis chapter 37, and I read, and Joseph dreamt a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. And he dreamt yet another dream, and told it to his brothers, and said, behold, I have dreamt a dream again. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. And he told it to his father and his brethren, and his father rebuked him and said to him, what is this dream that you have dreamt? Shall I and your mother and your brethren indeed come and bow ourselves before thee on the earth? Now, why am I reading this little piece of scriptures? Because when you had a dream, it's possible that others may have not believed you. When you said you're going to become a pharmacist, it's possible that others looked at you and said, well, no way. But here you are today. And it's possible that even right now, as you're completing your BPharm degree, you're telling somebody already that I'm going to do a PhD. I'm going to do a PhD in pharmacy, a PhD in whatever the case may be. I'm going to start my own pharmacy. I'm going to become the next QA consultant. I'm going to become the next big shot in pharmacy. And there's somebody who doesn't believe you. Let me tell you, wait for it. Just keep on showing up. One day, you will look back and say, I'm glad I took that decision, and here I am today. So But what I want to bring to you as well and bring to a close attention is that you are entering a very highly charged environment in the field of healthcare. You may have experienced part of it when you did your practicals, when you went to do your locums in the different community pharmacies or private pharmacies, that it is supercharged. But this is one where you cannot operate on an autopilot. You cannot operate with an assumption or working with old knowledge, and because here you are saving lives. You're entering an environment where you have to save life. It's either you save the life or you send them to the grave. So how you show up to do that particular job is very critical. Hence, you need to operate with evidence every time. Everything that you say, everything that you do is evidence-based. You are now in a world where everything that you do to or for the patient, every advice that you give to a doctor or to a nurse, and every time that you sign a prescription, you must have the science to support the decision that you're making to say, yes, this is okay. You're also entering a place where we operate under the principle called Batu Pillar principle. So people first. It's not about you. I know the temptation is to make money as locums. The temptation is to make money in opening your own community pharmacy or your own what you call private pharmacy. The temptation is to look presentably good, financially stable, driving a big Vrpa machine and other German machines, and living in a big luxurious house, dressing up smart in a suit, and putting on your Louis Vuitton badge as you walk in the street. But it's not about that. The oath that you have taken, it says you're going to save lives no matter what, and you're going to put the patient first. So as you enter into this profession, you need to remember that you ain't doing it for yourself. Yes, the money will come as a benefit. The fame and the recognition will come as a benefit. And usually it comes even more if you do more to no harm. So you need to show up as an asset. You need to show up as an asset. You need to prepare yourself to be an asset. You cannot afford to be a liability in this profession, and you cannot afford to be a liability to yourself. How do you become a liability in the profession? When you allow yourself to be a liability to yourself. When you allow yourself to sleep while you're walking. When you allow yourself to sit in a desk or to stand in a desk and help a patient without understanding what the patient is complaining about, and without understanding what you are doing with the advice, and without understanding what the advice that you're giving to the patient is actually going to do. You become a public health figure and a reference of life to every person that comes to meet with you. And unfortunately, most of the people that are going to meet with you in the street and in your pharmacies, they will never tell whether you're a pharmacist or you're a doctor. To them, you are the doctor. So everything that you say goes. Every statement that you say becomes their life. So as you show up as an asset, you need to understand that within that space that you're entering in, it is plagued with multi-systemic challenges, including but not limited to lack of opportunities that could satisfy everyone, where you're also coming to a place where you're going to meet colleagues that are very much apathetic in their nature and in their approach of doing work. You are also, by now already, you know that you are entering a very highly regulated environment. It's overcharged with regulations. So as you show up, understand what restrictions you have, understand what opportunities you have as an asset. And as you build yourself as an asset, you'll be able to diversify. You'll be able to understand where the world of pharmacy and the world of healthcare is taking you forward. Some of you in the next 4 years may not be practicing as pharmacists. In the next 10 years, some of you may be lawyers. Some of you may be doctors, as the tendency has been presented itself so far, that people in the process of diversifying their career. Some of you may not find yourself working with patients, even if you're in healthcare. You could be in management, you could be in administrative, you could be in research, you could be in training, in any other area. But show yourself as an asset. An asset is something that keeps on multiplying and keep on producing by itself, producing babies of its kind that are growing and growing in nature and contributing to society and to the source. So where are we right now? We understand that the 6 pillars of health care system or of the health system include service delivery, which is what you're going to be starting with immediately. A well-functioning health workforce, which is you right now. But unfortunately, we understand that while we're talking about the well-functioning health workforce, what in that description itself, we're talking about committed people. We're talking about competent people. I believe SMU has now deemed you competent because they're going to confer to you a degree that says you're qualified to practice pharmacy. But then the South African Pharmacy Council would want to test you if you're showing out and showing up after SMU into a particular field, into a particular area to practice your pharmacy as an intern, if you're competent enough by giving you what you call the pre-registration exams and so many CPDs that you need to submit to council, they are measuring your competency. But what is going to make you stand out is how passionate you are about your profession. Those that know me as Ntantline as a pharmacist, they know what I represent. And I don't represent nonsense. I don't want to associate with mediocrity. I want to associate myself with people that are doing exceptionally well, people that will challenge me, people that will be able to tell me, no, you're wrong right here, and you're no longer doing much and you need to grow. And you need to associate yourself with so many people that are so passionate, such that their passion become toxic in your nature and it transfers to other people. Another thing that we understand about the pillars of health system is leadership and governance. And we are in a place where we need more leaders in our system. We need more robust, more aggressive, more focused, more forward-thinking leaders who are going to think within the fourth industrial revolution, who are going to think within the current challenges of the pandemic and come up with solutions and systems that are beyond our own application, that are beyond our current thinking. We need people who are going to think towards the future and understand for us before we get there what it will require for us to deliver healthcare. I've learned right now that countries like Uganda, they're now using drones to deliver medicines. Why? Because of the widespread geographical area. Therefore, they had to use drones to access remote areas that are difficult to reach on the ground. And we need to do those kind of things. We not long ago in South Africa, we introduced electronic dispensing, and we introduced what you call robotic dispensing or ATM dispensing. We need those kind of things, but we need to find a way to make it more accessible, more affordable, and cost effective even for the community as such. We need a strong health information management systems. We are in a system where the challenge of finding data to validate what we're doing is very difficult. And most of us are practicing in a place where we don't know what we did yesterday. You're going to enter into a hospital where they don't know how many antiretrovirals they have given, where they don't know how many hypertensive patients they have, how many diabetic patients they have. And we need young people to come up with new thinking. So don't come in and show up to pass by to get your qualification and to get your registration as a pharmacist. We want you to show up as a person who's going to leave a mark, who's going to leave a solution behind. I'm currently working with a young pharmacist as a community service. She studied at Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University. And we have been writing letters right now and trying to call the powers that be to say, we understand you don't have posts, but this one we need. We need this girl here in this institution because her value has shown that we cannot do without this kind of value. We need the creation of the post. Fortunately, government is coming through and is going to be creating posts, and she's going to stay a little bit longer to transfer her power to other people. The other thing that we need within the healthcare system is adequate financing. The reason why we do not have enough human capital to produce the service that we need is because we don't have money to pay for the services. Obviously, it's plagued with so many things that you can think of right now. Money has been disappearing from tables, and we need to come up with solutions to say, how do we find ways to do cost-effective activities? We are waiting right now for the registration of the specialist in pharmacy called clinical pharmacists. And one of the arguments that is being presented to us as pharmacists is, what is the socio-economic value of having a pharmacist? And it will translate back into the financial value of having a clinical pharmacist. We have this discussion even in practice right now to say, what is the value of having a pharmacist? Why so many pharmacists? Why so many pharmacists? And we argue this, but what we need right now is to come up with different kind of solutions that are cost effective, that will show anyone who thinks of a pharmacist that without that person, you don't have value. Without that person, we don't have strength. Without that person, we do not have impact in the society as we want to achieve. And then the last activity that we talk about in the health system is availability and accessibility of medicines, vaccines, and technology. Now, I want to ask you a question, which I know you won't answer to me right now, but I want you to find an answer to this question. How accessible, in terms of equity as well, is our medicines or healthcare, particularly in Africa? Let me give you paint a picture for you. In the United States, at least over 50 plus, I think, per 100 of people have been vaccinated. In South Africa, over 44 people per 100 in population have been vaccinated. But when you leave South Africa and you go to the vast majority of the African countries, at least 4 per 100 have been vaccinated. That tells you there is no equitable access to vaccines. And it's so many countries that are ranging between 4 and 9% in terms of the vaccination rate for COVID-19. And then you move up, you go to the likes of Mauritius, that's where you start seeing 39% and 40% and so on and so forth. But all African countries are below 50%. When you move up to the Western countries and you go up to the European countries, you find that they've vaccinated a lot more people. Why? Is it because we don't have resources or what? But I believe there's an issue in terms of accessibility of healthcare in the African region. And when you look at that, you look at the treatment of malaria, you look at the treatment of cholera, you look at the treatment of TB and many other communicable diseases, both communicable and uncommunicable diseases, we still have issues with equitable access to healthcare. And until we come together and show up to address these things, to address it financially, to address it technically, to address it with expertise, we will not be able to solve our problem. So we need you right now. I'm inviting you to show up into a different system and show up with a different mentality. I know you've been exposed to a lot of things that made you tired, that made you excited at the same time, that, oh, I'm glad I'm leaving school. Welcome to the problems. You just left small park. This time, you're diving into the ocean of problems. There are sharks waiting to devour you. And you need to show up as an asset and to come with solutions. So what do we need to do right now? We need the minds, we need collaboration, and we need resources, we need passion, and we need robust thinking. And that's what I'm inviting you to come and do right now. Because as we speak in Africa, we are having challenges of in unequal distribution of resources, in accessible healthcare facilities with high out-of-pocket cost. And that is why we are introducing what you call universal healthcare coverage in the form of national health insurance in South Africa. In a study by Mapumelelo and Bengu, published in 2018, they state that, and I read, there's an overwhelming evidence that the quality of healthcare in South Africa has been compromised by various challenges that impact negatively on healthcare quality. Improvement in quality care means fewer errors, reduced delays in healthcare delivery, improvement in efficiency, increased market share, and lower cost. Decline in the quality healthcare has caused the public to lose trust in the healthcare system in South Africa. Our challenges in health include prolonged waiting times because of shortage of human resources, adverse events, poor hygiene, and poor infection control measures. And this also include irrational antimicrobial use. Then you would have increased litigations because of avoidable errors, shortage of resources in medicines and equipment, and poor record keeping. End of quote. This is where you are coming into right now, and you need to come with solutions. I'm not trying to paint a bad picture for you, but I'm trying to paint an opportunity for you, because opportunities are presented a lot where there are problems. Another thing that you're going to see is dilapidated infrastructure with high maintenance cost. There is a need for young, innovative minds to participate in the green economy of the world. Right now, we're talking about reducing global warming. What is the contribution of pharmaceuticals to global warming? What is the contribution of pharmaceuticals to environmental health? What is the contribution of pharmaceuticals to the safety of our population? And we need to think about it in terms of building an infrastructure for healthcare that is different, that is diversified, that is cognizant of the safety of those that consume that particular product, which is our medicines and the information that we give. So we need to introduce what you call e-medicines and telemedicines within the public health system, where we can have patients consulting without coming physically. Then we'd have less people traveling on the road. We need to introduce drone delivery medicines. We need to introduce other forms of electronic and e-pharmacy. One of you here, I hope you'd have to think wider and challenge the South African Pharmacy Council, or including South Africa at large, and create the first online pharmacy that does everything online without meeting people. Yes, we have courier pharmacies and so on, but we need online pharmacies that will deal with the market share in a different place, where anybody from anywhere can actually access you and be able to deliver medicine. So as I conclude, showing up, what you need to do now. So because you've taken an oath, you need to understand that everything is a result of showing up. So what do you do? What does it mean? Showing up means that you are ready for the next level. It means that you are ready for the next opportunity to do, opportunity to be, opportunity to serve and to give and to contribute to a bigger picture. It means you are ready to sell yourself, not short, but to sell yourself to sell yourself worthy and of a higher value, and in terms of high demand as well. You need to make yourself place yourself in a place where you're in high demand in terms of your ideas, your services, your expertise, your knowledge, and your product. It shows that you need to be ready to produce the solutions, or even to transmit the solutions from where you are to the next person, even if it means that you become an agent of that particular solution. Showing up, it means you are ready to take a growth challenge. And I challenge you, young people, that don't take pharmacy for granted and come into the world of pharmacy and become redundant and don't learn. I once read a document that says most of the healthcare professionals are 2 years behind the breakthroughs happening in their industry. I hope you're not going to be one of them. Show up as a person that loves and admires and values information and education. That way, your life will be different. It also means that you are ready to solve problems when somebody needs help, and you are the solution. So you need to become the change that you're hoping for. Whatever problem that you have experienced or you have seen, you need to become the solution that people are looking for. I'd love to meet with you. I wish I was there and we talk about this. But as I conclude, I want to say to you, everything rises and falls on leadership. Be the leader that people would want to follow. Be the leader that people would want to emulate. Be the leader that people would want to get closer to. You see, when you show up, you create an opportunity for another person to want to meet with you again. I am speaking and you're watching this video because I met somebody and I was speaking to them and they thought, I need this guy to come and speak again. Tomorrow, somebody is going to meet with you. After meeting with you, will they want to meet with you again? Will they refer somebody to you for help, for service? Some of you are going to be interns, and most of the time, by the time you conclude your internship, we will say good riddance. I want to say to you, when you conclude your internship, we need to fight to keep you. If people are excited to see you leave, just know that you've been a bad person. Let me conclude and say, I love you. I love my job. I love being a pharmacist. We'll meet one day and we'll have more different discussions and build each other in this field of pharmacy. Enjoy the rest of the evening and enjoy the rest of your career. I hope you've made the right choice in terms of your choice for internship. Those of you that love research, go back and do academic internship. Don't focus on money. Focus on value. Build value intrinsically. That value will attract all the other resources that you need. Thank you, and God bless you.